When you speak about a state like Uttar Pradesh, you're speaking about lakhs
Correct.
of such notices, and then there's always a deadline. You have to issue the notices within such and such a time, otherwise it gets time barred. By the time I left the organization after 3.5 years, 1,500 crore we could collect by using that software, which cost us 18 lakhs.
So moving on to some of the other more recent postings that you have had.
Yes.
And as you also mentioned that when you served as a district magistrate, the technological interventions were, I think just starting off.
Right.
But it has, picked up quite a bit after the Digital India mission, that the country has adopted.
Yes.
So can you talk about some of the digital interventions and digitalization interventions that have been, done in both your stint as, in the income tax department as well as the stamps and registration department?
Yes. I was IG stamp registration for almost 3 years and GST commissioner for 3 years. So in the stamp registration, we went to e-stamping in a big way at that particular time. The shift from physical stamps to encouraging use of maximum e-stamps and swift messaging system in which we became part of the banking community, Okay. So the commissioner plays a...
what are e-stamps exactly?
E-stamp is whenever you purchase or, any land deed or whatever, you get your deed registered, but the government mandates that you pay stamp duty, right? So physical stamps used to be printed and purchased 5,000 rupee, whatever. Yes, stamp paper. So that has been digitized across a long time.
Okay.
And today, the whole world uses e-stamps because it is technology foolproof. Nobody can, and just online quickly. So we went into encouraging e-stamping. So that reduces a lot of cost of printing and manufacturing, all the, tomfoolery associated with physical transportation, the security, all of that is gone. And the power to sit at your home and to access and to pay. Right. So it is a great equalizer and no fear of carrying cash and, purchasing. It's all online transaction. Banks are a very vital part of our link. So we got a proposal for, changing our regulations and rules so that we are part of the swift messaging and enabling people who wanted to lend and, borrow from the bank to be part of that. So the stamp department had to do some changes. So we created an environment in which the best practices of India, we started copying, emulating, and going on board. In that particular time, all these land records and registry deeds of years, like the revenue department had been, digitizing all the land records. Similarly, we started all the registered deeds, which are in the different sub-registrar offices. So we started digitizing it. Now there is a project on. It started in my time. We did 3 or 4 districts, entire digitization. So then, as a customer, before buying a land, you can check the veracity of what you're buying, 10 years, history, everything, which is not available before. Who did the land belong to before? So any digital intervention in today's world is a great help to the ultimate customer, because wo apna lifetime savings he is investing in purchasing a land or a property. So the more information you get, the more transparently you get. So that is how we should, visualize it. So naturally, when you start, your team is not confident. You don't have all the resources. There it comes, like you told me about bringing in agencies, right? So you had the stockholding corporation coming in and saying, we can help you in this particular thing. We can help you with training. We can help you with the material, e-stamp. We are there. So you listen to a lot of agencies, and my own team said, ma'am, we just need a couple of, printers and whatever it is. We can do this digitization as a pilot project because we had to start it up. But we went in it in a big way. We ended up winning some couple of e-governance awards across. UP's efforts were recognized. So, and the same thing continued when I went to GST department. See, GST, today it has become so complicated. So if you do return scrutiny, like after 4 or 5 years, you got to do the returns of a GST payer and you have to plug the loopholes. Did you pay in time? You have to check the input tax credit. There are different forms. It is humanly impossible for anybody to check 16, 17 different parameters, a balance sheet, and to check where the person is at fault and to plug it. Correct? It has to be technology. When you speak about a state like Uttar Pradesh, you're speaking about lakhs of such notices, and then there's always a deadline. You have to issue the notices within such and such a time, otherwise it gets time barred. That means even if there is a potential loss of thousands of crore of tax revenue, you will not be able to issue a notice if you don't, follow the timeline, because you have to issue the first notice, then you have to listen to them, then you have to issue the second notice. So it's a set pattern.
Due process.
Otherwise, if you lose, it can be a 3,000 crore loss, but if you not issued the notice in time in the proper format, you lose the opportunity. So my team said, in Telangana and Andhra, they'd already done AI-based notices. They're tied up with Triple IT Hyderabad in
Right.
Telangana, for example.
Yes.
So a few of my officers along with me, we went there. We should. It was then that I was so impressed with my team. We have these young officers. Some of them are from engineering background, some are lawyers, but they know their job. So we went and did a thorough study. Originally, we were supposed to get the software, but for some reason, it did not happen. But when I came back and I said, now, we're not going to get the software, they said, we have understood the algorithm, ma'am. We just need a software development team, right? So Dr. Nitin Gokan sir was our ACSR. ACSR said, go ahead and tie up with Triple IT, IIT, wherever you want. So for an 18 lakh MOU, just it cost us 18 lakh MOU, we tied up with the team in Triple IT Lucknow. Young engineers, and they were so thrilled that we're going to be
Of
part of a
course.
government project,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
bright and smart. You will not believe it, Venkatesh, in a matter of 3-4 months, we had a state-of-art software. In fact, my team studied it so well, they ensured that the mistakes which they learned from other systems, they removed it. They ensured every law and every rule was compiled. But by the time I left the organization after 3.5 years, 1,500 crore we could collect by using that software, which cost us 18 lakhs.
Wow.
And UP became the largest after Andhra to implement it in such a huge scale. And All India, the GST Council also appreciated it. Now they're coming out with All India, the same model, AI-based scrutiny notices. So that has been tremendous. All we did was to listen, what is the technology available, understand the problem that the officers are facing, the humongous amount of data you've got to do. And the officers are like so delighted because the software just catches the gap and pops it up.
Yeah.
All you got to do is check the balance sheet, add your comment, and send it, right? So there are so many opportunities for AI to be utilized in our work.
Right.
And it doesn't cost too much. You just need the correct partner. But 18 lakh investment and 1,500 crore. And we won the
Yeah.
Scotch and Platinum Award for
Oh,
that.
wow.
Yes, recognizing our effort.